Let me ask you something. What if this message reached you at the exact moment you were about to slip back into sleep, not the physical kind, but the mental, spiritual, emotional kind? What if everything you've been chasing, doubting, questioning, was leading you right here to these words? Because this isn't just another video. It's not noise. It's not a quick hit of dopamine. This is the interruption. This is the wake-up call. And here's the truth you've been avoiding. If you don't rewire your own mind, someone else will gladly do it for you. The world is shaping you every single day. The news, the noise, the endless scrolling, the fear, the opinions of people who never built anything, all of it is programming you quietly, repeatedly, without your permission. Most men aren't living their own lives. They're replaying their past. They're trapped in loops, mental habits they never chose, thoughts they never questioned, limits inherited from people who abandoned their own dreams. But not you, not anymore, because you're here, and something in you is done living small, done shrinking, done reacting, done drifting. This is not a motivational speech. This is activation. And I need you to stay with me, because by the time this video ends, if you apply what you're about to receive, you won't just feel different. You'll become different. This is not something you watch once. This is the beginning of your transformation. This is the moment you snap out of drift. This is the moment you choose direction. And let me make one thing absolutely clear. This isn't about hustle. It isn't about noise. It isn't about hype. This is about power, quiet power, earned power. The kind of power that comes from discipline, from clarity, from thought trained like a machine. Because the most dangerous man is never the loudest. It's the man who commands himself, the one who has conquered the battlefield within. And that battle begins in a single place, thought. Everything you are right now is the result of thought. Every fear, every limit, every excuse, and everything you could be is born from thought as well. But the real question is this: who's doing the thinking, you or the version of you the world installed? You don't need more time. You need more direction. And direction begins with control of thought, what enters, what repeats, what you allow to take root. This is the starting point of power. This is where real wealth begins, where real freedom begins, where real success begins. You do not drift into greatness, you decide into it. You install it. And that's exactly what you're about to learn in this video. I'm going to hand you the mental tools to burn your fears, command your habits, speak to your mind with precision, and walk like a man with dominion over his life. But only if you watch it all. This is not a clip to play once and scroll away. This is your daily ritual, your mental armor. Listen now and return tomorrow. The mind will not rewire itself, but it will obey the one who finally takes command. So sit up, be still, focus, because everything changes from here. You've been told you're in control, that your decisions are your own. But the truth is, most men are not the architects of their lives. They are puppets of their programming, influenced by the world, shaped by fear, guided by emotion, steered by habit. They're not deciding, they're reacting. Your environment has been scripting your behavior since childhood. Every word of doubt, every limit spoken over you, every failure you internalized, all of it got stored. And now that old programming fires without your permission, it dictates what you think you can do, what you attempt, how far you go, and how quickly you surrender. You believe your fears are rational. You believe your limits are real. But they were planted, conditioned, installed like software. And if you never question them, if you never interrupt them, you will live inside someone else's version of your life. But here's the shift. Once you see the program, you can rewrite the program. The subconscious mind runs the show, and it does not respond to logic. It responds to repetition, to emotion, to dominance, which means this: if you've been rehearsing weakness, fear, hesitation every day, you've been practicing defeat. But the moment you flip the pattern, the moment you install new commands, new rituals, new standards, the machine starts working for you, not against you. You wake up and you install new thoughts. I am focused, I am capable, I am building. Then you reinforce them with behavior, with execution. That's how power is built, from the inside out. Charles Schwab wasn't born with power. He earned it through presence, through repetition. He studied himself the way others studied books. Why? Because self-awareness is the beginning of self-command, and he rose not because he shouted, but because he embodied clarity, and clarity commands. Your habits are the compass of your future. Not your talent, not your emotions, your habits. And habits are forged in silence, in private, in the choices you repeat when no one is watching. This is why your inputs matter, what you listen to, who you listen to, what you say to yourself in the mirror. You think your self-talk is harmless, but it is the loudest voice in your life. And if that voice is filled with fear, hesitation, confusion, your reality will mirror it. It's time to take it back. You are not here to be a puppet. You are here to be a builder. A man who speaks with authority to his own mind, who builds rituals that reinforce power, who guards his focus like something sacred because it is. From this point forward, every day becomes an installation. You wake up and build yourself before the world gets a chance to break you. That is how Ford built empires. That is how Carnegie built wealth. Not by chance, not by hype, by clarity of thought, discipline of speech, and consistency of action. And that is what you must do. Now, this is your turning point. You wake up every day with a choice, but most people never make it. They drift. They float through life on the winds of circumstance. No plan, no direction, no fire. Just reaction. They let the world tell them what to care about, what to chase, what to become. And that is the tragedy. Not failure, not rejection, but drift. A lifetime spent with power unclaimed, potential unused, purpose buried under passivity. Drift is the enemy of destiny. It doesn't look dangerous, and that's why it's deadly. Drift feels like comfort, like ease, like going with the flow. But nothing great was ever built by accident. No man becomes powerful through convenience. The life you want will never emerge from indecision. It begins with a line drawn in the sand, because until you decide, truly decide, nothing changes. You think you need more time, more resources, more clarity. You don't. You need decision. You need to stand up and declare what this life will mean. That is, the moment transformation begins, the moment you stop moving with the world and start moving the world. Listen closely. Indecision is a habit, and so is decisiveness. Every time you hesitate, you reinforce weakness. Every time you delay, you train your subconscious to question your power. But when you decide instantly with finality, you rewire your identity. You become the man who moves, the man who acts, the man who leads. Decision is magnetic. People feel it. Opportunities align with it. The universe responds to it because decision is energy focus condensed into motion. You don't wait for momentum. You generate it by making decisions faster than fear can speak. Charles Schwab didn't rise to lead Carnegie Steel because he was the smartest man in the room. He rose because he made decisions with clarity, with confidence, and he stayed with them. While others debated, he executed. That is what leaders do. That is what builders do. So ask yourself, who have you decided to be? Have you chosen your chief aim, your standard, your future? Or are you still living like a leaf in the wind, reacting, drifting, hoping? Stop drifting. Decide. Say it out loud. This is the man I am becoming. This is the standard I live by. This is the future I am building. Write it. Speak it daily. Anchor it deep. Because the man who is uncertain folds under pressure, but the man who decides cannot be stopped. You don't attract power by accident. You install it. Power isn't a title. It isn't granted by others. It's created from within, and it begins the moment you take control of your identity. Identity is the foundation. Everything you do, your habits, your reactions, your intensity flows from the image you hold of yourself. Most men are living through an identity shaped by their past, their failures, their fears. That's why they sabotage progress. That's why they start and stop. That's why nothing sticks. They're operating with an identity built for survival, not success. But you are here to build something different. And if that's true, then your identity must be upgraded on purpose. Every man who changed history understood this. They weren't born different. They weren't blessed with luck. They built themselves thought by thought, belief by belief, command by command. Henry Ford wasn't a genius inventor. He was a man with a crystal clear belief system. He repeated to himself and to the world, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That wasn't clever philosophy. It was identity programming, and it made him unstoppable. Thomas Edison didn't try to invent the light bulb. He saw it long before the world did. He visualized the results so clearly, so consistently, that his mind refused to accept failure, only feedback. 10,000 failed attempts meant nothing because the identity behind them never wavered. He was the man who would create the light. That's how you have to move. You're not just setting goals anymore. You're setting identity anchors. You're not trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're not hoping to build something great. You are the builder. Start speaking to yourself the way the most powerful men in history spoke to themselves, not with doubt, not with apology, but with absolute certainty. Say it now. I am decisive. I am dangerous when focused. I finish what I start. I lead my mind, my day, and my destiny. This is not fake confidence. This is engineering. The subconscious mind doesn't argue. It obeys. And when you feed it identity statements with emotion and repetition, it accepts them as truth. You literally become what you repeat. That's not theory. That is the backbone of every success story that ever lasted. Andrew Carnegie didn't just build wealth. He built men. Men who lived with definiteness of purpose. He refused to work with drifters. He hired men who knew who they were, who spoke with clarity, who moved with conviction. And when their confidence wavered, he made them study their own minds like blueprints. Because when you study your thoughts, when you reinforce your beliefs, when you repeat your standard daily, you don't just rise, you become a weapon. So listen to me. No more casual affirmations. No more whispering goals like you're asking for permission. From this day forward, you speak like a builder, like a man who knows exactly what he's becoming. Say it again. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am not average. I do not drift. I move with purpose, and I finish what I start. That is how power is installed. Not in a moment, but through a daily ritual of reinforcement. You will not become this man by accident. You will become him through repetition with fire. Repeat this script every morning. Speak it until your bones believe it, because the man you admire, the one you're building, is built with words like these, spoken with certainty and lived with fire. And soon, the world won't just hear what you believe, they'll feel it. There is a moment in every man's life where he must stop asking and start deciding. That moment is now. Decision is the doorway to power. Nothing happens until you decide. No result is created. No transformation begins. No identity sticks without decision behind it. Most people never rise because they never decide to. They flirt with commitment. They dabble. They try. But they never burn the bridge. They never lock the door behind them. They never say, this is who I am now and there is no going back. But the successful live by a different code. Charles M. Schwab wasn't the smartest man in the steel industry, but he was the most decisive. That's why Carnegie trusted him to run his empire. Schwab made bold moves while others hesitated. He didn't let fear delay the mission. He decided fast and only adjusted when reality demanded it. And that is the principle you will install right now. I decide quickly, and I change slowly, only when the facts demand it. Because here's the truth. The longer you hesitate, the weaker you become. The longer you analyze, the more you drift. The longer you avoid making the call, the more power you hand to fear. There is no such thing as a safe maybe. Every maybe is slow death to your mission. Should you commit to this identity? Yes, decide. Should you speak the affirmations even when you don't feel them? Yes, decide. Should you show up when no one is watching? Yes, decide. Indecision is never neutral. It is a decision to stay weak, to stay uncertain, to live by someone else's rules. And you are not here for that. You are here to build, to command, to walk with definiteness of purpose. Definiteness of purpose is not a motto. It is a way of life. One outcome, not 10, not maybe. One, Edison didn't try to create the light bulb. He decided. And he backed that decision with 10,000 experiments, 10,000 failures. But the decision never moved. And because it didn't, the world changed. When you move with true decision, the world feels it. Circumstances rearrange. People take notice. Doubt retreats. Power respects. Clarity. Say it now. I am decisive. I know what I want and I move toward it without delay. I choose action over hesitation, execution over excuses. Now make one decision today, not tomorrow, not when it feels convenient. Now, cut the habit draining your energy. Speak your affirmations with full conviction. Act on the idea you've been postponing. Whatever it is, decide. Because every bold action rewires your subconscious to believe, I am a man who follows through. And the more you follow through, the less power fear has over you. Remember, hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever could. You are not here to float. You are here to command. And command begins with one decision made with fire, followed by discipline, reinforced by action. There is a force stealing men's strength every day. It's not poverty. It's not pain. It's not failure. It's noise. The moment you open your eyes, the world floods you with it. Notifications, opinions, trends, pressure, comparison. Your mind, once clear, becomes scattered. Your mission gets diluted. Your power gets silenced. But listen closely. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is ammunition. In silence, vision sharpens. Identity solidifies. And when you stop performing for the world, you finally start performing for yourself. Every builder, every leader, every titan moved this way, quiet, strategic, focused. They didn't beg for applause. They didn't explain their process. They executed. Then the world noticed. Carnegie trained in solitude. He demanded focus from himself and everyone around him. Meetings were short. Intentions were clear. Distractions were not tolerated. Why? Because results are built in quiet, not in noise. If you want power, reclaim your mind from the world. Start with your mornings. Make the first 30 minutes sacred. No phone, no scrolling, just clarity, command, identity. Speak your standard into the mirror, not for others, but for yourself, because privacy is power. The less the world knows, the more you control. When you share your goals too early, you leak power. You invite doubt. You hand your dream to spectators who were never meant to be on the field. Stop explaining. Stop seeking validation. Stop letting the algorithm dictate your energy. Let them wonder where you went. Let them assume you quit. Let them scroll past your silence while they guess you build. This isn't arrogance. It's discipline. A seed grows best underground, unseen, protected, nourished in silence until the roots are strong enough to rise. When you go silent, you take your energy back. You stop reacting. You start creating. Your mind sharpens. Your hesitation drains. Your momentum builds. Quietly, relentlessly, like a storm no one sees coming. Now answer this. What noise must be cut? Who are you explaining yourself to that doesn't deserve an explanation? What energy are you wasting performing instead of producing? Cut it off, not later. Now, if it doesn't feed your focus, it's stealing it. Silence is a filter. It removes the irrelevant. It quiets the world so you can finally hear yourself. And when your inner voice becomes louder than the voices outside, that's when you win. Not loudly, not explosively, but undeniably. And when you walk into the world with results forged in silence, strengthened in solitude, you won't need to say a word. They'll feel it. Your dream doesn't care about your excuses. It only answers to one thing: consistency. You can speak with fire, visualize with precision, even believe with full conviction, but if your habits are out of alignment, none of it will land. Because the subconscious doesn't listen to talk. It listens to repetition. It listens to ritual. Your habits are either reinforcing your vision or sabotaging it. There is no in between. You say you want success, but what do your mornings look like? You claim discipline, but what do your evenings say? You talk about mastery, but is your schedule built like a man who honors that desire? This is where most men break, not because the dream is impossible, not because they lack capability, but because their rhythms are sloppy. Their lifestyle is misaligned. Their habits betray their ambition. And here's the law: you will always default to the level of your systems. If your system is distraction, you'll be distracted. If your system is chaos, you'll live in reaction. But if your system is clarity, repetition, and focus, you will become exactly what you repeat. Success is not an act of intensity. It's the result of systematic obsession. The way you move when no one's watching. The way you speak to yourself when there's no audience. The way you protect your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. Once those patterns lock in, once your subconscious adopts the rhythm, the law of habit force takes over. Momentum builds on its own. What used to be hard becomes normal. What once required effort becomes identity. Edison didn't hope to succeed. He built a system so consistent, so relentless, that invention became inevitable. Structured, hours, intentional experiments, daily repetition, until the extraordinary became routine. Henry Ford did the same. He turned discipline into an assembly line, a machine that didn't rely on emotion, only execution. So ask yourself, what is your system? What are you installing daily? Mind, body, mission? Because these loops shape your life, and they must be guarded with non-negotiable standards. Feed your mind clarity. Train your body for discipline, not vanity. Move your mission forward every day, whether you feel like it or not. Purpose doesn't wait for comfort. This isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. If your habits don't match your vision is fiction. Align or abandon. There is no middle path. And your environment, it's either strengthening you or poisoning you. Every conversation is a seed. Every joke drenched in doubt plants hesitation. Every complaint pulls your mindset downward. If you don't filter those voices, you'll carry beliefs that aren't yours. Great men understood this. Carnegie surrounded himself with thinkers, builders, strategists, not excuse makers. Ford didn't pitch his dream to doubters. He moved with those whose belief matched his own. Because belief is contagious. So is fear. So is small thinking. You must be ruthless with access. Not everyone belongs in your war room. Not everyone gets to speak into your subconscious. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your mission. This isn't ego. It's alignment. Some people belong in your life, but not in your strategy. Others belong in neither. Audit your circle. Protect your energy. You are not here to babysit the comfort of others. You are here to build. And there's a phase in the journey. No one talks about the dark phase. Not the start when motivation is high. Not the finish when results are visible. The middle, the stretch where you work for weeks, months, and nothing seems to change. Silence grows. Doubt whispers. And most men quit. Not because it's hard, but because it's quiet. But the dark phase isn't a punishment, it's the forging ground. It's where your identity solidifies, where you build quiet muscle, the ability to do what's required with no applause, no witness, no reward. Edison lived here. Schwab lived here. Every titan lived here. Progress simmers before it boils. Roots grow before the tree breaks soil. Your results are not absent, they're on delay. So when you're in that silence, follow the protocol. Track the reps, not the feelings. If you did the work, you're winning. Speak your identity aloud, especially when doubt creeps in. Cut noise. Stay on your script. Celebrate integrity, not outcome. Anyone can be. Disciplined when it's easy. Few can be disciplined when it's dark. That's what separates you. You are not falling behind. You are forging ahead quietly, relentlessly, unshakably. You don't need applause. You need a reason to keep swinging. And if you're still here, you already have one. You're not building this life for the crowd. You're building it for the man you know you're becoming. And that man doesn't fold. He doesn't beg for reassurance. He doesn't wait for signs. He decides. He moves. He endures the silence because he knows what waits on the other side of it. So keep going quietly, powerfully, undeniably. You've made it this far. You've listened. You've absorbed. You've felt the shift. But hear this. None of it will last without repetition. Transformation isn't a moment. It isn't a spark of motivation. It isn't a single decision. Real transformation is born from one thing, autosuggestion. Your subconscious is always listening. It listens when you speak with certainty and when you mumble in doubt. It listens when you say, I can, and when you whisper, I don't know how. What it hears most becomes law not because it's true, but because it's repeated. That's why one message isn't enough. You must hear this daily. Not just hear it, install it. Not just play it, declare it. Repetition creates rhythm. Rhythm creates identity. Identity creates destiny. You don't become the man you want to be by watching something once. You become him by rehearsing his mindset until it becomes yours. That's auto-suggestion, the tool every titan used, knowingly or not. Ford didn't repeat belief because it sounded good. He repeated it until the world bent to it. Edison didn't imagine the light bulb once he installed it thousands of times until belief became fact. Carnegie made his men speak their aims aloud every morning and night, engraving their mission into the subconscious so deep that doubt had no room left to grow. Why? Because results come from rituals, and rituals are born from repetition. That's why you must return to this message not once, not twice, but until it feels like your own voice, until these declarations shift from suggestion to command. If you listen once, you forget. If you listen occasionally, you remember. If you listen every day, you become. This isn't entertainment. This is installation, engineering, rewriting the mental code that's been holding you down for years. Your mind is software. You don't erase an old program by wishing it away. You overwrite it line by line, thought by thought, word by word. So here's the instruction. Make this a ritual. Wake up. Press play. Speak it aloud. Visualize it. Feel it. Live it. This isn't something you do until it's convenient to stop. This is something you do until the transformation completes, and then you keep doing it to maintain the standard. Identity isn't built once. It's built every day. Write this phrase down. I rehearse who I am becoming until my subconscious forgets who I used to be. Repeat it, install it, let it drown out the old voice, and understand this. You're about to walk back into a world that hasn't changed. Not yet. The noise will return. The doubts will return. The old patterns will whisper for your attention. This is where most men fall, not because they didn't feel the fire, but because they didn't protect it. They treated power like a moment, not a responsibility. That will not be you. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the builder, and builders build daily. You are no longer allowed to forget who you are. You are no longer permitted to drift. You are no longer a man who only listens. You are a man who lives it. From this moment forward, you rehearse greatness, not when it's easy, not when it's convenient, but until it's complete. You rehearse discipline. You rehearse power. You rehearse the identity you're installing until it becomes louder than the world around you and the world within you. You're not here to fit in. You're not here for likes or applause. You're here for one reason: to become undeniable. Your new standard: clarity over chaos, discipline over dopamine, action over explanation, focus over approval, repetition over reaction. Every time you choose the harder path, you win. Every time emotion rises and you execute anyway, you rewire. Every time you speak as the man you are becoming, you anchor him deeper. So start now. Walk like him. Speak like him. Decide like him. Show up like him. Before the world believes it, because belief follows evidence. And today you give it the evidence. If the world doesn't believe in you yet, good. Let them sleep. Let them doubt. Let them misjudge you. Silence isn't failure, it's foundation. A seed doesn't scream while it grows, and neither should you. Your silence is strategy. Your solitude is sharpening. Your stillness is strength. And when your mind whispers, skip today, you answer, I don't skip, I don't fold, I finish. When the feeling says, you're not ready, you answer, I decide who I am, and I am ready. When the world says, you're not that guy, you answer, watch me. Because the man you're becoming doesn't argue, he executes. You don't need the world to believe. You believe on repeat. Say it. I believe in myself on repeat. Say it while you walk. Say it while you train. Say it while you build. Say it until the old voice dies from starvation. Now here's the rhythm. Wake up. Don't scroll. Don't drift. Don't seek noise. Install your blueprint. Armor your mind. Rehearse who you are before the world gets the chance to label you. Say it aloud. I don't drift. I don't delay. I don't wait for perfect timing. I create it. I train my mind. I train my habits. I train my future. If you slip, you reset. You don't spiral. You don't collapse. You rebuild. Because the man you're becoming doesn't rise from hype, he rises from habit. He rises from dark days followed by darker commitment. He rises from reps done in silence while others chase attention and stay weak in the light. What separates the few who rise from the masses who repeat their failures is simple. They kept returning to the message that made them dangerous. Not to listen, but to live it. So hit replay. Hit it every morning until repetition becomes identity, until belief becomes biology, until the man you used to be can't stand in the same room as the man you've become. This is your blueprint. This is your command. This is your edge in a world addicted to weakness. If you're still here, you already know. You were never meant to be average. You were meant to become undeniable. So don't just watch this. Install it, live it, speak it, repeat it, become it. Because when you do, your voice will change, your posture will shift, your energy will lead, and the world will finally see what you've known all along. You're not like the rest. You were built for more. And now, you remember.